Shalom! All praises to the Most High, Hanoka said. Praise be to the earthly mother, the Pachamama, and all of her earthly angels, the Erkadeshwe. Praise be to the Holy Spirit, the Kahe, in the name of his only begotten Son, Motsah the Lamb, unification to the nation. Okay, so I wanted to touch a little bit on this subject, since I'm kind of trying to dabble in Asia. I really do not have a background in a lot of this stuff, so maybe I guess visitors can come in the comment section and give me a little bit more stuff about India, Southeast Asia, and things of that sort. Because again, I'm not very familiar with this stuff. I never looked into it before, but I'm sort of looking into it now. I'm still focusing on my finale video on the Nephites, the Mayans, and things of that sort. But I'm dabbling into this right now, so let's get into some scriptures first. We are in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. This is Jeremiah chapter 29, and this is verses 10 through 14. For thus saith the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you, in causing you to return to this place. So this is talking about the Babylonian captivity, but as I have said on this channel, and as if you read the scriptures, you should know that prophecies are cyclical. He's going to keep doing the same thing over and over again as long as we keep doing the same thing over and over again. And this is the last time, but this was done on a worldwide scale, where he scattered us, but he scattered us many times before. He's taken us off of these lands many times already. So, for I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me, and when ye shall seek for me with all your heart, and I will be found of you, saith the Lord. And I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all of the nations, and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord. And I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. Again, this was talking about the Babylonian captivity. But has he not done this exact same thing? This is Deuteronomy. Every time we mess up, that's what happens. So let's go to Isaiah 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. Right? Now you can argue if this is a last day prophecy or this happened already. Like I'm not arguing that, But the point is that this has happened more than once, and this has happened now. We are scattered to all these different places. We are at all these different places. Now I made a video, as you can see here, there's the video I have on the front of my channel. And we went over, I looked into the Israelites in Japan, and I came across these group of people called the Burakumin, and the fact that they're obscuring their identity. And what I pretty much concluded is that the Burakumin, at first, not anymore, but at first, they were the descendants of the Ainu, as well as the Ryukyu, the people of Okinawa, pretty much the indigenous peoples of those lands. They are the descendants of them, and they pretty much tried to say that they're treated a certain way because of the jobs that they held. It was very silly, because then I looked deeper. They were discriminating against people based on their surnames. Again, the other nations know that nationhood is based on seed line. It is not based on anything else. It's not based on your mother. It's based on your fathers, your forefathers. That's why they attach, your treatment to your surname. They will do that. So if you guys want, you could check out from this time and you can go forward. I don't know how long. I guess towards the end of the video, but I touch on the Burakumin and things of that sort. And that led me to untouchability. So let's just read this. Untouchability, in its literal sense, is the practice of ostracizing, meaning to keep them out, to treat them like outsiders. That is what ostracizing means. A minority group by segregating them from the mainstream by social, custom, or legal mandate. You see that? So they will keep them out of the mainstream and they'll treat them like outsiders unless they leave their group, unless they leave their culture. But as long as they stay within that culture, then they will keep nudging at them. They'll keep bothering them. That's what happened to us everywhere. And then, if we still want to hang on to our culture, then they will send people to hijack our culture. They'll send people to, mix in with us. So we don't even want to be in our culture anymore. This is a war. You must understand that. They did that here with the natives. They did it everywhere. So the term is most commonly associated with treatment of the Dalit communities in the Indian subcontinent who are considered polluting. The term has also been used to refer to other groups, including the Burakumin of Japan, the I don't know, but these people of Korea, the Ragyapa of Tibet, as well as the Romani people, and the Kagat in Europe, and the Al-Aqdam in Yemen. Traditionally, the groups characterized as untouchable were those whose occupations and habits of life involve ritually polluting activities such as fishermen, manual scavengers, sweepers, and washermen. Does this make any sense? These people are mistreated because they're a bunch of fishermen and garbage men. Does that make sense? No, it sounds like they're trying to obscure something. They're trying to hide something. In the medieval times, untouchables were also those who had eating habits like eating dead animals with diseases, in contrast to groups who supposedly followed higher standards of cleanliness. There's another thing that they did. They kind of switched the roles. So, all right, look at it this way. If the people come and enslave you and then give you carcasses to eat, and they get to eat in a more civilized way, now they're going to turn around and say, oh, you're wicked for that. Does that make sense? Yes, it does, because they did that here with slavery, where they made us eat all of these parts of the pig. But then they got to keep the Levitical law, though. But the real children of the Most High, they're the ones defiling themselves. So now we're reprobate, but they forced that reprobate diet on us. And I already know what they're doing. And this is why it's important to have pride in who you are. Because if you don't, you're not my family, honestly. Most High is really showing me who people are in these last days. There's a lot of separation going on. We're going to get a little bit more into untouchables, because there are different synonyms. The Adi-Dravida, and that means the original Dravidians. Very interesting. And I'm not going to read these names. I'm going to skip over them. I'm just warning you. The word untouchable was first applied to this category of Hindus by, this person. And he gave a lecture in 1909 to describe their most essential characteristic. Moving down, some 20 years later, the same person, it was Mahatma Gandhi, named them Harijans, which means roughly the children of God. So why would Gandhi call these lowly people, the original Dravidians, why would he call them the children of God? These are the people on the lowest totem pole in the uh, Brahmin caste system, I believe. I'm sorry if I'm totally incorrect on that. I'm still studying it, but they're on the lowest totem pole. They're the lowest, and it's funny that almost the lower you get, the darker your skin is. And that doesn't mean that black means you're righteous, but the point is that we got invaded by a bunch of pale people. So they're looking at black skin as the blacker you are is the more further away from them you are, and therefore the more wicked you are. They're carnalizing skin color. That's them. That doesn't necessarily mean the truth, but I'm just showing you how they view things, right? Because we were all shades here in the Americas. We had a lot of diversity. So just because they landed here, that doesn't make any light-skinned people evil. Like that's retarded. But let's go on. Oh yeah, they're also called the Tamil Nadu, in reference to the major untouchable group of this place of Tamil Nadu. The Adi-Dravida have only been reported in India, and we could look at this map right here. Where are they mostly? They're in southern India, in this place. And I have to go over some things. I have to look into some things because, I believe that Solomon built a kingdom in the Pacifics, but I'm trying to figure out exactly where it is. I believe it was Kamari Kingdom, which was the island, the really big continent that was connected here. But let's read a little bit about them. The Adi-Dravida of southern India were called the Parijar due to the negative connotation of the name Parajar or pariah in English. The leaders of this community in the early 20th century requested that their name become Adi-Dravida or original Dravidians. Today, the Adi-Dravida are a scheduled caste, which means they receive special benefits for government jobs and places in education to rectify past societal wrongs. In the past, many of the Adi-Dravida were indigent architectural workers tied to the land. See, they did a lot of land work. What does that sound like? Were we not tied to the land? Did they not keep us on these lands only because we knew how to till them? Otherwise, they would have killed us off the land. But they were also forced to live by themselves in hamlets outside the other villages and towns. I just thought about something. Remember how I went over in that other video how the only reason why the Assyrians brought us back into Samaria is because the Most High was jacking them up. That's why I said they can't really take us off these lands. They have to use us as body shields. That's the reason why they have us here on our lands. That's why they enslave us on our lands. The Assyrians knew that they messed up when they fully took us off the land, so they had to bring us back. Right? We have to be on our land. The Adi-Dravida live primarily in the southern Indian states of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Some are scattered across the rest of India. They speak Tamil and other regional languages. The Adi-Dravida have been poor farmers and architectural workers. Some own their own land while others labor for landowners. Sound familiar? Some Adi-Dravida are shoemakers and leather workers. Others dig graves and take care of funerals. See, they're doing jobs that are unholy, quote unquote, right? The Adi-Dravida are endogamous, that is, they marry within their caste. They do not practice child marriage. The men spend the day working the soil, growing rice, other grains, fruits, and vegetables. Women tend to family responsibilities and also help the men in the fields. Unfortunately, illiteracy is high among the Adi-Dravida. By giving the Adi-Dravida scheduled status, the Indian government is trying to increase literacy and access to higher paying jobs. Some Adi-Dravida are educated and entered professionals like medicine, engineering, and law. Most Adi-Dravida are Hindu. They worship the Hindu gods like Vishnu, Shiva, Rama, Krishna, and Hanuman. due to their low caste, sometimes Adi-Dravida have not been allowed to enter into Hindu temples. This fact has led some leaders to encourage the people to leave Hinduism and to embrace Buddhism. So that's very interesting, but now we know why they're there. You know, you have to remember the covenant that, the Most High made with you for all those who are among this group. So let's get into this. Why are Tamil Brahmins fair-skinned compared to other Tamilians? Now, I like this answer because this person was very real about it. This painting of Vamana and Bali. Alright, I'm not reading all this, but this is not modern painting. This is 19th century painting. Many Dravidians will claim that Vamana is a symbol of evil white Brahmin, and Bali was a humble dark Dalit. And Chronicles of Judah, he has this series called Blue Man Equals Black Man. And, I'm not going to get into the definitions, but, he did, it was a very good series, and he was pretty much showing how anytime they're referring to blue or green men, they're talking about, the so-called Negro. And the Negro is not always dark skinned, but when they're talking about Negro, they're really just talking about Shemite. They're talking about son of Abraham. That's really what they're really talking about. And particularly, the sort of Negroes that we are a much different sort of Negro. It's in our genetics, it's in our body structure, it's in our phenotype. You can be lighter or darker skinned, but it really is about the physiognomy, your build, This is another ancient painting of Vamana. In both ancient paintings, Brahmin, Vamana, Vishnu is dark and with a beard, right? Now here's a twist. Here, Vamana is light-skinned. This shift was due to this series of painting. See, they whitewashed him. This picture of Vamana, and the artist is Ravi Varma. He was Prince of Travancore, who was English educated. So naturally, he thought Brahmins and gods are fair, and demons are Dravidians, so they are dark. So they were dark. Lies which is repeated again and again will become true. Lies which is repeated again. Oh, I said that already. They needed to prove Aryan supremacy, so they always represented Brahmins as Aryan Europeans. See, they never were. They were blue or black. They were dark. Right? And some needed to prove that pagan Europeans were bad, so they showed Aryans as invaders, so Dravidians can return to their Christian faith. Even modern historians have bias in dealing this scientifically. There are a lot of fake white supremacists and anti-whites also in this field. Everyone has their own bias. It proved that all castes are mixed, but they claimed Brahmins had more R1A than Shudras. I don't know who any of these people are. I know who Dravidians are, but I don't know who Brahmins and Shudras are. Even Punjabi Sheikhs look darker. Even some Adivasis have mixed characters. All Europeans don't have R1A. Some Indians have C haplogroup, which is found in China. The portrayal of Brahmin as white was colonial British theory. Swami, okay, I'm not reading this, was confused to be an African. Even though he was a Kayashta, he was an upper caste. Here, Rama is dark. Lakshmana is light brown, and all Ashurs are fair. Even their elephants are fair. And these people, man. This is ancient painting of Shri Krishna, or Sri Krishna, I don't know. This is Rama, Ravi Varma. See, he's always painting these people almost like biracial or more white looking. Kutulia was a Brahmin from All right, bro. You guys have to understand. This is not easy, man. You go read all this crap. Desha, according to Jan's sources, he was black, had crooked tooth, and was ugly. He's always making the dark skinned people ugly and short and whatever, right? Rama is a Vedic Sanskrit word with two contextual meanings. In one context, as found in this, means dark colored, or black, and is related to the term Ratri, which means night. In other contexts, as found in other Vedic texts, the word means pleasing, delightful, charming, beautiful, lovely. So this whitewashing or blue washing of our God is after colonialism. See? This stuff was not like this before. They made him blue because they didn't want to admit who were the true antecedents, or the true forefathers, or the people who were on top first. This painting of Krishna in Rajput era. Now I want you to ask these dark skinned people in India if they if they want to be treated equally after what these heathens have done. Y'all Negroes are stupid, man. You guys are just ignorant. There's another picture. And there's another one. This is another one. See, the other nations, they worshipped the children of Abraham, pretty much. Of Shairi, the Shawnee, who traveled the world. I was just looking up into these different ethnicities, and one I came across was Kagot, and I was looking into this was in Egypt, and I was just like, whoa. Are the Kagots of Europe descendants of the 8th century Moorish soldiers? For most people, this would be agreeable, perhaps even pleasurable. For the 40-something mother of 3, the story of her bloodline is marked with a unique sadness because she belongs to an extraordinary tribe of hidden pariahs. See, it's the same word. It's the same word, the untouchables, the people no one wants to be around. Represented in France for 1,000 years. Marie Curie is a Kagot. If the word Kagot means nothing to you, that is not surprising. The history of the Kagot peoples is obscure. Some assert it has been deliberately erased. Marie certainly believes that. To talk about the Kagots is still a bad thing in the mountains. The French are ashamed of what they did to us. The Kagots are ashamed of what they were. It's a constant thing. We are ashamed of who we are, and they're ashamed of what they did. They're bullies. They have all this damn Nephilim DNA because they're children of them. They're children of the people of the nations that conspired against us. That is why no one these days will confess they are of Kagot descent, except uniquely for Marie Curie herself. She is probably the only person in the world willing to admit she is of Kagot blood. But it took her many years to realize what that meant. So, let me see. The truth about the Kagots is obscure. The people first emerge in documents around the 13th century. By then, they are already regarded as an inferior caste, the untouchables of Western France or Northern Spain. In medieval times, the Kagots, known as Agotis, Gahits, whatever, were divided from the general peasantry in several ways. They had their own urban districts, usually on the malarial side of the river. These dismal ghettos were known as Kagoteries. Traces of them can still be found in Parian communities such as Campan and Hagetmau. For hundreds of years, Kagots were treated as different and inferior. In the churches, they had to use their own doors. It sounds like Jim Crow, bro. But I'm gonna leave that in the description. Let me see. And I was reading this article, and Gandhi he began to call these people Harijan, which means children of God. And certain people didn't really like this because they felt like, oh, well, now they're going to start to come back into society if you make them human, if you start to give them humanity. So why would he call them the people of God or the children of God? And by the way, these same people, I think the Devadasi, these little girls were sacred prostitutes for all of the northern Indian men. All the rich ones and the ones of a quote unquote higher caste, the ones of a lighter skin. Those are the ones who would use these southern Indian women as sacred prostitutes, and they would connect. I guess they feel like they're having sex with these different female goddesses, and these women would allow them to possess their bodies. It's very odd. It's very odd, and it's very disgusting. But they're known to whore out, the children of Israel. They're known to work them into the bone and to emasculate us. This is worldwide. This is not just here in the Americas. This is worldwide. And it's in almost every group. The word Dalit means oppressed or broken. Right? And what did it also mean? Let me see. It meant scattered as well. Scattered, broken, oppressed, untouchable. What is it talking about? Who are they talking about? Yet these people in Tibet. The lower division contained Ragyap, oh my goodness, Ragyapa. This P. I mean, this B is just confusing the hell out of me. Or they're called untouchables of different types. Blacksmiths and butchers. The very lowest class contained executioners, bachelors, and hermaphrodites. And it's just weird because, these people are viewed as lowly because they're butchers. But what is butcher? What is that? What is that really talking about? We are butchers, aren't we? Aren't the Levites butchers? Don't they do like these different sacrifices and things of that sort? And they know how to drain the animals. That's why they're always the butchers. That's why they work in these different things. They work as agriculture and butchers because that's who they are. And we always had Levites among all the other tribes, The Romani people, we touched on them a little bit in the video I did on the Irish travelers, but the Romani people are a bit different because they come from India. They're not necessarily from they didn't come from Ireland. So, but they have a similar lifestyle. They're both nomadic. But they say, oh, they're Indo-Aryan people. Dodge the hijack. But traditionally nomadic, I don't know what this is. Itinerants, living mostly in Europe, and diaspora populations in the Americas. And they're known as the Gypsies. And I think, again, America's Egypt 9, UBTV, he went over the Gypsies and how they're really called the Egypsies because they came from India. But where did they come from before India? They came from the Mayans. So they knew the Mayans as, the Egyptians pretty much. Why? Because we took over Egypt. We became the new Egyptians. And much of the land of Egypt was in the Americas as well. I just say that I don't think Goshen was in the Americas. I think Goshen was in, somewhere in Australia. I think we were enslaved there, pretty much. But I don't think we were enslaved in the land of Canaan. But anyway, that's all I pretty much had. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown on these different scattered tribes that are all really around Asia. The Northern Kingdom went to Asia. And probably in other series or other parts of the series, I'm going to go over the DNA and the fact that East Asians are related to Native Americans. I mean, how does it go? Pretty much, how did it go? Okay. The DNA is showing that East Asians came from the Americas. The people of the Americas did not come from East Asia. That's what the DNA is showing. So that means that these people went to Asia. They didn't come from Asia, they went to Asia. That's what I was talking about. They're the original Asians. They're the actual Asians. These people are not the real Asians. These modern day people, but they could be mixed in with them, of course. Anyway, that's all I had. May peace be with you. Selah Kala.